The Darksaber is a legendary weapon with an extensive history, and its significance will have a large impact in the new season of The Mandalorian. The ancient and unique black-bladed lightsaber was created by the first Mandalorian inducted into the Jedi Order, Tar Vizsla. He developed it over 1,000 years ago. It was said after his passing, the Jedi kept the saber within the temple. It remained here until members of the House Vizsla snuck in to liberate it during the fall of the Old Republic. After its possession returned to Tar Vizsla's ancestors, his family was able to take over and unify the entirety of Mandalore. The legend of the Darksaber became a symbol of leadership and power, as the one who wields it is viewed as the rightful ruler of Mandalore. As time passed, the Mandalorian Civil War took place. It originated because two sides had opposing ideals within the Mandalorian society. The new Mandalorian government that was established following the war was led by Duchess Satine Kryze. Warrior clans that opposed this new rule were exiled to the nearby moon Concordia. During the time of the Clone Wars, the issue had appeared to be resolved. Concordia had become a province of Mandalore with its own governor, who seemingly was a close ally of Duchess Satine, although the man serving this role had another secret life. His name was Pre Vizsla, a direct descendant of the late and legendary Tar Vizsla. In the animated show, he was voiced by Jon Favreau. This was Jon's first opportunity in the world of Star Wars, and is what likely sparked his interest in the Mandalorian heritage and characters. Pre Vizsla was the leader of Death Watch, a hidden terrorist group of Mandalorian commandos seeking control of their planet. The group despised Satine's pacifist beliefs and longed to restore Mandalore's warrior culture and ways. The Duchess's own sister, Bo-Katan Kryze, was even part of Death Watch and shared their vision. In order to accomplish their goal, Pre Vizsla formed several alliances, one of them being partnered with Maul's Shadow Collective. This pact allowed for Pre Vizsla to succeed in winning back his homeworld, although Maul had further ambitions to expand his criminal empire. Vizsla had no intention of doing so, and ultimately betrayed the deal. This resulted in Maul challenging Pre Vizsla to a duel that would determine the true ruler of the Mandalorians. The battle ended with Maul beheading Vizsla with the Darksaber. Following this, Maul claimed the position as Death Watch's new and rightful leader. This was opposed by Bo-Katan, who refused to accept an outsider whose beliefs were not aligned with pure intentions for Mandalore and its people. Therefore, Death Watch split into supporters of Bo-Katan and loyalists of Maul. Maul utilizes the Darksaber against many opponents, most notably against his former master, Darth Sidious. This lightsaber duel is by far one of my favorites throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars. Later on, Maul leaves the Darksaber in possession of the Night Sisters on his home planet of Dathomir. In the animated show Star Wars Rebels, the Darksaber was eventually found by Sabine Wren. Despite the Darksaber being back in the possession of a Mandalorian, Sabine did not want anything to do with the responsibility it came with. However, she was urged by her companions to undergo training with the saber. After much reluctancy, she attempts to learn how to wield the weapon under the tutelage of Jedi Knight Kanan Jarrus. Sabine ends up using the Darksaber on a mission to ask her family for help for the rebellion. On this expedition, she fought Viceroy Gar Saxon, who was the Galactic Empire's puppet ruler for Mandalore. He had even been a loyalist to Maul in the past, as he was a commander during the Clone Wars. Defeating him in combat made Sabine the rightful new owner of the Darksaber, yet she did not feel the calling for its much larger purpose. She later offers the saber to Bo-Katan, as she felt the sister of the former Duchess was the right person to lead and unite the Mandalorian people against the Empire. Bo-Katan accepted the gesture with hesitance, as she knew the deeper meaning and honor of how the saber is rightfully obtained. It must be done so through a trial by combat, like all others before her. Over time, Bo-Katan loses the Darksaber following the Great Purge of Mandalore. We know this because at the end of the Season 1 finale of The Mandalorian, Moff Gideon is unveiled to be wielding it. In Season 2, we learn that Bo-Katan is hunting down Gideon in order to take back the Darksaber and earn the right to lead her people. After the Moff kidnaps Grogu, Din Djarin seeks help from Bo-Katan, knowing that they share a common enemy. She makes it clear that only she can face Gideon, but Din ends up encountering him first on the rescue mission. They fight and Din ultimately disarms Gideon. They return to the others with Din wielding the dark blade, He attempts to give Bo-Katan the saber, yet he does not realize the significance of this moment. Gideon is amused by the action and describes how her accepting the gift would make her claim to the Mandalorian throne illegitimate. She knows this to be true, as the story of how the saber is obtained is what matters. Because of this, Din keeps the saber and continues his journey alone, leading him to find the remnants of his Mandalorian covert that were forced to leave Navarro in Season 1. He meets the armorer once again and ends up having a confrontation with Paz Vizsla, whose ancestor is the iconic Tar Vizsla. Paz realized Din had the possession of his family's saber, thus he formally challenged him for the right to wield the legendary weapon. Din wins the fight, but it is revealed that his helmet has been removed. He broke this vow of the Creed and was deemed no longer a Mandalorian. The armorer said the only way to atone for this is in the living waters beneath the mines of Mandalore. This is where Din's journey has been teased to continue in Season 3, which begins next month on March 1st. It will be interesting to see how the symbol of the Darksaber plays a role this season. Will Bo-Katan be an enemy? Will Din try to unite the scattered Mandalorians with his new title? Will Gideon return to power? What would you like to see? The Darksaber is definitely my favorite lightsaber, not just for the unique look, but the history behind it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and like this video for more future Star Wars content. May the Force be with you all.